back on the Morning Brew with Friends with Dr. Irene Moody, the Mission Committee Chair for the March of Dimes, and also a pediatrician.
Yes.
And we want to talk about March of Dimes stuff. You just reminded me that flu season it's coming up, right?
Right.
When technically is that?
Well, it comes as early as November and goes as late as May.
Okay. So it's really like just winter.
Yes.
Yeah. Anytime you're cold, it's flu season.
Yes.
So get your flu shots now. Don't
Yes.
worry about it.
Correct.
Just go down, get it done, and be healthy.
Especially if you're pregnant. It's
Oh, of
very
course.
important for pregnant women to get their flu vaccines.
Because how could having the flu affect an unborn child? I mean, if you're pregnant.
Well, if women get the flu, they can have premature birth. They can have high fevers, which can affect the baby. And also, babies cannot get flu vaccines until they're 6 months of age. And so some of that immunity from the mother gets passed on to the infant and keeps them safe from getting the flu.
So it keeps them so you're really even getting an extra 6 or 8 months of protection on that.
Yes.
And then of course you don't get everybody else sick if you get sick.
Correct.
Which is awesome.
Right.
So, but we're talking about March of Dimes stuff, and you guys have kind of a win to announce.
Yes.
I love this.
Another win for New Mexico.
Right. You had a couple big ones this weekend, and
Yes. So this is what's called the Prematurity Report Card. And it
I think
comes
you've got
out,
a copy of it here.
Yes.
And this
I
is
don't
an
know if they
annual
can see
report,
it.
right?
And it's an annual report. It comes from the Center of Health Statistics. And this year, New Mexico received a B
Woohoo!
on their on their premature report.
This is one of those things that B was unexpected, right? We didn't know we were doing so well.
That's right. We had a C last year, so we got a B this year. There's
Right.
still some work to be done,
But we're
we
improving.
are aiming for that A.
So what kinds of things does this report card tell us?
Well, this specific report card talks about the number of babies that are born prematurely. And we have a 9.2% premature birth rate, and that's a baby that's born before 37 weeks of gestation, so 3 weeks early.
Oh, okay.
Or before that.
Are those considered preemies?
Those are preemies.
Okay.
Usually they have problems with their lungs, with digestion, being able to feed properly, being able to maintain their temperature. That's why we have incubators.
Right.
And they have a prolonged stay in the hospital. They
Right.
don't get to go home with the mothers when the mothers leave the hospital.
Right. So 9.2% of kids in New Mexico are preemies. That's actually a great number. I guess we're higher than or better than the national average for this, right?
The national average is 9.6%.
I'd always kind of thought that was something you just couldn't control, but it is something you can control, right?
And that's what the March of Dimes is doing.
Right.
They're kind of going at it from two fronts. One is research to figure out why babies are born prematurely, and also research to figure out what sorts of treatments we can give these premature babies to help them. Surfactant, I don't know if you've ever heard of surfactant.
I've heard of it. I have no idea what it does.
It's a chemical that they can actually put into an infant's lungs because premature babies do not make surfactant. Term babies make surfactant, and that's what keeps the lungs inflated.
Oh.
And so they give the babies surfactants soon after they're born to help their lungs inflate and stay inflated, and to keep them from getting what we call chronic lung disease of prematurity, which is a serious lung disease where babies have to be on oxygen or on a ventilator for a long period of time. They're also going out and speaking with mothers or potential mothers,
or soon-to-be
get
mothers,
them, right, to be more healthy, to maintain their weight, to take folic acid, which is a vitamin that's very important when babies are developing. And they're also trying to convince women to spread their pregnancies out if possible, because they found that the closer the pregnancies are, the more likelihood of prematurity.
Interesting. What are some other factors in prematurity?
Probably smoking. Because they're not getting enough oxygen to the babies or, to the placenta. Possibly being overweight or gaining too much weight in pregnancy. having diabetes. So all of these things
So
are kind of monitored.
General unhealthy behavior in the
Right.
first
Right.
place can cause
Right.
complications for a pregnancy as well.
And we want women to, to see their doctors early if they think they're pregnant, and to make all those appointments they need to make sure that the pregnancy is healthy.
Right. Well, I know this is one of the many things you guys are doing at March of Dimes. There's a lot of other programs though that you guys are handling, right?
Yes. One of the big wins from last year was to pass a law where babies, after they're born, get monitored for what's called critical congenital heart disease.
I did read about this because this is one of the cases of SIDS, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also babies, they have a heart problem that should be treated early that could potentially cause damage to their organs, and so they want to pick this up early before it kind of comes as a surprise. You
Are there
can't
treatments?
just look at a baby and say that they have this.
Right.
And so, yes, there are treatments. Unfortunately, usually that's surgical treatments,
Oh.
but at least they know that the baby has the problem and
Right.
can catch it early and do something about it.
That's great. That's great. And then on this, how do we go forward next year and make this an A? We're getting from C to B. That's always a huge win for New Mexico.
Right.
How do we make it an A for next year?
Well, that's a good question. I guess we keep getting the word out that it's
Right.
important to be healthy when you're pregnant.
Well, then come on the Morning Brew. We'll talk about it.
Yes, that's right. Get the word out this way by
Right.
talking. This report card also did talk about some disparities in ethnic groups, and to maybe spend more time with those ethnic groups, trying to, get the word out to them that they really need to pay attention, maybe more than others. It also broke it down by counties, and so there's some counties that we know may benefit from more education.
Sounds like a plan. We all can benefit from more education
Yes.
all the time.
Yes, that's
Thanks,
right.
Thanks for coming back in a couple of seconds. We're going to talk about all of this stuff, and I'm sure probably a little bit more about the Holly home site. We can't stop talking about it this morning on the Morning Brew with Friends.